Goodnight Mommy is not for the faint of heart. Scariest movie ever? Effortlessly disturbing? What? 2 people fainted while watching the movie? What's going on? The scariest movie of all time is actually just this trailer for a scary movie? Wait, now we're talking about just a trailer? The trailer for Goodnight Mommy is being called the most disturbing film trailer of all time? What are you talking about? Well, that's 9 gags. It's not the greatest of sources. But still, this hype is crazy. I didn't see the trailer until after I already watched the movie, and if you haven't seen the movie and the trailer, then well, I suggest you do the same. Not because it's all that scary or disturbing, because it really isn't. I mean, it's just a trailer for a horror movie. But more so because, well, like with most trailers nowadays, or maybe since forever, it kind of gives away all the scary bits already, but mostly this movie just gives you all the wrong expectations. It's very misleading. But let's start with the beginning. Goodnight Mommy is a 2014 horror movie from Austria, and that's in Europe. It's not Australia. Come on, guys. In Austria they speak German, or Austrian German. So its original title is Ich sehe, from the guessing game ich sehe was du nicht siehst. At least if it's the same as the Dutch ik zie wat jij niet ziet, which would literally translate to I see what you don't see, but is known in English as I spy with my little eye. It's a pretty clever title, right? If you've seen the movie. So at one point the trailer just blew up, I guess, and there was this huge buzz. I honestly, myself, I really only just caught a little bit of the whole hype, so I'm not even sure if I'm kind of late to the party with this video. But really, after reading all those headlines, you know, I got pretty curious. I mean, it's been a while since I fainted while watching a movie. I mean, I guess if falling asleep is not the same as fainting. Anyway, really quick, the story. We see these 2 twin brothers. They're a little weird, collecting cockroaches, playing around in these tombs, wearing Crocs. One day, their mother comes back from having facial surgery, all covered in bandages, and she explains how the doctor told her to rest a lot. So she comes up with all these rules, you know, like that she shouldn't be bothered and whatnot. So the kids are like, that's weird. And they're not all too sure about their mother's new appearance and behavior, to a point that they begin to doubt whether or not she's even their real mother. And, well, that's basically the whole setup, which I do like. I mean, it's kind of creepy. And so, of course, the big question is she or is she not their real mother? Well, not gonna spoil that for you. Let me just start off with giving you some of my general impressions of this movie. Because I did like it. It's quite slow paced. Not saying that it's boring or slow, although some would beg to differ, but I prefer just describing it as taking its time. I didn't mind it. It gave me some time to enjoy the beautiful shots. There's a lot of really nice compositions that work quite well with this anamorphic widescreen. You know what I'm talking about, this 235:1 aspect ratio? Never quite sure how to call that. The movie looks beautiful. It's very well shot. And acted. You know how child actors are quite often hit or miss, but these boys, they did a great job. It's noticeable that they are actual brothers. I mean, the chemistry seemed very realistic. It's nice to see. Come to think of it, I actually really liked at least the first half. It's more a psychological thriller than anything. You know, everything is just a little off. The mother, obviously, but also the kids. And there's just this dreadful atmosphere going on, which really makes you wonder, like, okay, so where is this going? Because, well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a twist, even though this movie has become quite known for its twist. I mean, it's all about the twist. But I don't know, I prefer calling it just the reveal, because obviously you're waiting for something to happen at the end to you know, like sort of explain what's going on. And I don't know if it's just me, but I never see these things coming. So unfortunately, I'm not part of the cool kids that can brag online about how they saw the end coming, you know, from the start of the movie. But then towards the end, when it did come, you know, the reveal, I was like, oh, yeah, of course, makes sense. But does it really? Phew, this is a tough one, because I did like it. I mean, I'd seen it before, but that's not really a valid critique. I don't know, I just feel like they went out of their way a little too much, you know, like to make the whole movie deliberately confusing for the ending to be a bigger surprise. Sure, some things are actually quite clever, you know, definitely if you'd watch it a second time. but some things just don't add up for me. You know, there's definitely enough put in this movie just to mislead the viewer watching. And it's not even like I have to have everything like spoon-fed to me towards the end to explain everything. I even like it that they left certain elements of the movie sort of like ambiguous, that, you know, it gives you something to like wrestle with, like, oh, does it make sense or does it not? But, you know, that it's okay. I stand by my point that not everything adds up. Still, that didn't ruin the movie for me. The thing that I did dislike about this movie a little bit is how different the second half is compared to the first half. So, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I am gonna show some clips of the second half of the movie. So, you know, in order to avoid that, just go to this time marker in the video. Because, remember how I said that the first half is mostly just a psychological thriller? Well, the second half at one point starts to feel like borderline torture porn. And I don't like using that term, but at least you guys know what I'm referring to, probably. And it's really not even that bad, as in, you know, it's really not that excessively graphic or gory. It's just that after a first half that relies on dreadful atmosphere and tension, this just kind of feels out of the blue, and you're like, oh, it's gonna be like this now. Is this when the people in the audience would faint? Maybe. I guess I understand, you know, if this is the first movie that they would see ever. Well, supergluing someone's lips together, that is pretty messed up though. But yeah, seriously, I would have just liked it more if the second half would have also just used atmosphere and tone rather than visceral violence to shock or scare the audience. And, well, that's about it, I guess. In conclusion, I liked it. Mostly for the beautiful cinematography, you know, the whole look and feel, and the kind of dreadful suspense of the first half. Some people say that it's predictable, and well, I guess if you've seen enough genre movies, then yeah, it's possible that you can figure it out early on. But then again, you know, it's not just about the twist or the reveal. I mean, it's the whole movie, it's not just the last 5 minutes. Well, definitely wasn't the most scary or the most disturbing movie I've ever seen, or trailer. What's up with it anyway? You know, all that talk about the trailer? Since when are even trailers regarded as short films? Like, anyway, yeah, I would recommend this movie if you haven't seen it. Just don't let the hype get to you. It's kind of a shame that with a lot of these recent titles, you know, like The Babadook, Starry Eyes, It Follows, and now Goodbye Mommy, that they all get this crazy hype, this giant buzz going on. And well, even though I enjoyed all of these titles, you know, one more than the other, it's just a shame that they raise your expectations so high, you know, that kind of takes away the fun from just putting on a movie and being pleasantly surprised by it. But hey, you know, maybe that's just me. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you guys know more titles like this, you know, like recent movies that are kinda hyped, you know, I like doing solo videos on that type of movies. So if you know any, let me know. You can follow my page on Facebook, it's facebook.com/horrible-reviews. You know, you can leave recommendations there, or in the comments, or, you know, it's all good. Have a nice day.